Ottawa is bracing for a new round of protests expected to start on Canada Day, and the city's mayor and chief of police say they are ready. Ottawa Mayor Jim Watson and interim police chief Steve Bell say security plans have been drawn up to allow for safe celebrations on Friday. Even though the threat of protests looms over the festivities, the city has been the scene of several large demonstrations. This comes after supporters of the Freedom Convoy occupied the downtown core for 3 weeks in January and February. Well, joining us now to give us his insight into the Freedom Convoy protest and what Canada Day in the capital may look like is Dr. Joao Velloso, an associate professor at the University of Ottawa's Faculty of Law. He has expertise in the policing of protesters and mass events. Dr. Velloso, welcome back to Forum Daily.
Hello.
So, sir, let's start with this. How did the Freedom Convoy impact the city of Ottawa and the citizens in particular?
Well, it impacted in different ways. Most of downtown was shut down during the February month. So they shut like the main shopping mall in the city with lots of revenues in the millions of dollars. It's all impact residents and people working in the downtown area. In some of the streets, everything was blocked and people could not actually leave their house with their cars because it was impossible to move. And that's why there was a class action suit on the $300 million.
And how many large demonstrations have been held at the Capitol ever since?
We had lots of demonstrations in Ottawa. So the issue is that the large thing, like for instance, there was the war in Ukraine. So there has been demonstrations in front of the Russian embassy. Like since then, some of them are large, but not in the same scales of the Freedom Convoy. In terms of really large disrupting, we can fairly argue that the only one we had in Ottawa was the Rolling Thunder protest, so the bikers convoy that we had about 2 months ago.
And in terms of the Freedom Convoy occupation, it caught the attention of the world and our politicians as well. So do you think this result has maybe emboldened protesters to conduct further occupations or potentially large protests at the Capitol moving forward?
Oh, this definitely changed the spectrum. I think it was a first, and it repeated in other cities across Canada and around the globe. So there is some learning into that. And I really doubt, based on how the police react to the Rolling Thunder convoy, that this is going to happen again. So in the last kind of major protest, let's say, the police didn't really allow them to occupy an area. They actually issue a lot of parking tickets. They issue over 700 in 2 days, which was more tickets issued than the first protest. So like in 2 days, they use more bylaws and other municipal regulations than in the whole month of February.
So would you say concerns around another occupation at the Capitol are realistic, or do you think Ottawa is prepared?
More likely, it's not going to happen in the same terms. So they're not going to be allowed into the city and park through the city like it happened the end of January. Police was quite clear and also by law officers in the city that they would use municipal regulations and they would really approach this more seriously than the first time.
And we know officials are expecting a larger Canada Day celebration this year. How do you expect planned demonstrations to impact the overall festivities and police response?
Well, Heritage Canada was probably smart enough to dissociate Canada Day celebrations from Parliamentary Hill. So the events are not going to occur in front of the Parliament. So they moved this to about almost 2 kilometers from that, which is close enough, but also distant enough to facilitate police. So basically, like the festivities of Canada Day are going to not happen in the area of protests. So the most securized area in terms of avoiding further occupation is going to be around the parliamentary precinct, and the celebrations are not going to be there. Some protesters already move activities that were planned to be in front of the Supreme Court. They're going to go to a nearby park in the Sandy Hill neighborhood, which is kind of roughly two kilometers on the opposite side, which is far further away from the celebrations of Canada Day. So, the strategy is really to be, let's keep this group separated. They're probably going to be used the same kind of paraphernalia. So we're talking about Canadian flags, like this is the main dressing code during Canada Day in Ottawa. So I think the approach the Canada Heritage and the police had into this was to keep folks apart. Some people are going to be protesting, which is normal, but not protesting with their vehicles. And other people are going to be partying the festivities of Canada Day as they do. It's going to be bigger because we didn't have this in the past 2 years due to the pandemic, but it seems that the police had this more or less prepared.
Lots to keep our eyes on this upcoming weekend. Dr. Velloso, thank you again for joining us today on Forum Daily.
You're welcome.